He was done, man, thought he was finished. But he's back up again, and after about 10 minutes, he's back in the game.
Hello. Game week 23 is upon us, and I'm back in the game. 54 points, 2-star men, and a 20-point captain. Nothing to shout and scream about, but more like the standard of point scoring I am accustomed to. I won't laugh, I won't cry, I will stay aloof, because I was very pleased with myself. I gained immense satisfaction from giving Silva time to shine rather than binning him off for Ozil. If his FPL history is anything to go by, it was only a matter of time before Silva was going to hit the points again. I take confidence in my managerial skills, having correctly predicted somewhere in my head that Silva would score more points than Ozil, albeit Ozil was out injured. If I'd have known Ozil and Sanchez would both be sidelined for the Stoke game before I signed Adrian last week, I wouldn't have signed Adrian. I'd have kept Butland because Stoke would be much more likely to keep a clean sheet, which they did. Selling Butland was the only snag of a positive week. There were, other things like not having Aguero, but Aguero is dead to me. There are always snags in this game. The fact that there was only one snag made it a positive week overall. And it might not even be that much of a snag, because Adrian should keep more clean sheets than Butland in the next 5 games. So I'm still plodding along in the top million. If I was a Premier League team, I'd be probably Everton, who should be higher than the position they're in at the moment, but are having to grind out results to be anywhere near the top half. And game week 23 lies in store, and I picked my team for game week 23, maybe a bit prematurely, but I'm happy with it. The only sort of big doubt was whether I should play Mahrez or not, but I've decided to bench Mahrez, which is a bold move, and I've played Dele Alli with Palace away in his sights, and hopefully he can chip in with a goal or assist or both in that game if I'm lucky. And a lot of people are having trouble with the Ali versus Mahrez debate, with a tough set of fixtures for Mahrez and a decent, alright set of fixtures for Ali, with a few curveballs thrown in there. You never really know which Spurs team will show up, so he is a bit of a risk, and at 5.5 the young lad is very cheap, great value, which is why 18.4% of players have Dele Alli, Bamir Dele Alli, according to FPL. So if we look at Ali's fixtures, he's got better fixtures overall than Mahrez, I'd say, and he's in slightly better form, having picked up a goal against Everton a couple of game weeks ago. He also gets, if you look at his history, he also gets more clean sheet points, as Spurs' defence is better than Leicester's defence. So he's having a strong season so far, and I think if he gets forward, he can really provide many points for your team, and some big hauls are on the way for Dele Alli in his next few games. So I'm playing Ali over Mahrez, which is a massive compliment to Ali, because he's only really come to the forefront of FPL managers' teams over the last few weeks or so, whereas Mahrez has been a consistent player who has been a prominent feature in most teams this season. So it's a big move to drop Mahrez to the bench, but it's one that I'm going to have to do with Ali being not coming into form, you could say, and Mahrez being out of form. Mahrez, it's a difficult situation because even though he did so well earlier on in the season, I never thought I'd be in this situation, actually, where I'd be thinking of dropping Mahrez for a 5.5 rated player after his early season form. And whereas Leicester have only scored 2 goals in 5 games, talk of them losing steam is still a bit premature, so I'm reluctant to sell Mahrez just yet because he could return to his big point hauls, the double figures that he was hitting consistently at the start of the season. They're still joint top with Arsenal, so they're only having a slight blip at the moment. With Vardy's injury niggles and his missed penalties. The plan was to make life easier for myself by getting Payet in for Mahrez. Dropping Mahrez is a bold move though, but selling him, that's a different matter completely. Mahrez returning to earlier form is a terrifying prospect, as I've said. I would rather get Barkley for Payet once I know whether he has a double game week or not, and Barkley has good home fixtures in his next couple of games. So Barkley to Payet seems the way to go, but it's not urgent. So I've signed Bakary Sagna, who's actually on my bench for West Ham away, because they could concede away at West Ham with the form that Dimitri Payet has come back into. So I've sold Kurt Zouma as I thought Chelsea were going to, pick up the form and we're going in the right direction in Hiddink's first couple of weeks until the Everton game, and until I saw the Everton result, I was thinking of keeping Zouma in my team, even for some difficult fixtures coming up. But they conceded sloppy goals in that game, 3 sloppy goals in fact, which all could have been defended by the Chelsea of old. I fear Chelsea are slipping back into bad habits from earlier in the season, which have resulted in them being pulled further and further into the mire of a relegation dogfight. Sagna, however, is a solid pick, despite him being rested for the Palace game on Saturday. He has good fixtures and he's been in great form this season, keeping out fan favourite Zabaleta, which he has been unable to do in his Man City career up until this season. So, most fixtures are good fixtures for Man City. They very rarely have real tests. So in comparison to other top sides like Leicester and Arsenal, Man City have perhaps the best set of fixtures. So that is something to look into, and it's important to stock up on your Man City players just in case they make the League Cup final and have a consequent double game week coming up around game week 25, 26. So that's definitely something to consider. And Sagna is the cheapest, potential starting option this season, and definite value at 5.6. And Sagna also contributes to City's attacking returns, and Kolarov is now out injured, so he is the man to get at the inexpensive price. Not only that, but I actually favour Man City to get through to the League Cup final, meaning an elusive double game week lies in store. So I've become a little bit addicted to FPL the more and more the season goes on, I think, and I've started to have dreams about being in an FPL tribe, and being on a foray against the double game week that's coming up, metaphorically. So that's my team, and yeah, so if you need any advice, because I am so addicted to FPL, I could be able to point you in the right direction. So wish me luck for game week 23, and more of the same would be great.